Hey Amad Bais from Imish Amar. In the Mishnah, we had a machlekes between Reb Meir and Reb Yosi. If Teifes Lashon Rishon or not, do we accept the first words that the person says, or according to Reb Yosi, you say, look, you couldn't say both sentences at the same time, so it doesn't mean that the first one is the real one. He wanted to say the second one also. And that was the difference if the person says that this is an Eily and this is and the offspring is a Shlamim. Because it could be, according to Reb Meir, he meant to say that the whole thing is an Eily. And now he's changing his mind about the offspring, because the first thing is the full statement. According to Reb Yosi, we say no. He wanted to say, at the same time as this is an Eily, he wanted to say the offspring is a Shlamim. You have to say one consecutive. You have to say one thing after another. So that's how it came out. Then the Mishnah finished. It says, if when he says that this is a shlamim, then he changed his mind. He says that the offspring should be an Eily. So changing his mind doesn't help. That's what it's changing. When does Rabbi Yosi say that you have to say one thing after another? And therefore you can't say that just because this was said first, that means that that's what he said. Right? So that's only if that was his intention originally. The kids have all these jokes about this. They say, I'll throw you out the window, a towel, so, or I'm going to cut you a piece of cake. So they have these all of these sentences that it was supposed to be phrased differently, but it doesn't mean he's changing his mind, or it doesn't mean and he's rephrasing. Okay, so it goes like this: if after he says that this is a shlamim, he then changes his mind, so then changing your mind is Rabbi Yosi doesn't go for. The first thing that he said is accepted. The Gemara says pshita. That's obvious, Vlad Shlamim, that the offspring is going to be a Shlamim. You said that it's a Shlamim, you changed your mind afterwards. You can change your mind whenever you want. That's not going to be acceptable. Big chiddush. Papa says we have a big chiddush. You're changing your mind within Teich K'dei Dibur. Mal T'tema Teich K'dei Dibur K'dibur Dami probably. What could I have thought that Teich K'dei Dibur works? By Yoni Kamayan, and he's just looking into it. He's like thinking it over. Kamash Milan, that it doesn't work. This is a little bit of a problem.
What does he say? He says if this is a shlamim and the vlad is a Eily, it doesn't work.
And then he goes back and he says, no. He says this is a shlamim, and he meant to make the whole thing a shlamim. Then he changes and he says the vlad is a Eily. He switches.
So he says, this
He's
is
switching on one part.
So he said, this is a shlamim, and the vlad is a Eily.
Yeah.
So it works or it doesn't?
So it all depends on his intention.
Okay.
If his intention was to say only the mother's the shlamim, so then it does work, the vlad's Eily. But if his intention was to make the whole thing, the mother and fetus, a shlamim, and then he changes his mind about the fetus, and he says it should be a Eily, so it doesn't work, even if it's Teich K'dei Dibur. Now,
this doesn't make any sense.
How
it makes zero. I mean, like
because of the Teich K'dei, which part, the Teich K'dei Dibur part, or the?
Once he says it's a Eily, it's not his. Once he says a shlamim, it's not his already.
Right.
It's hekdesh.
Right.
He can't decide on hekdesh property what the vladas are going to be.
No, it has a fetus. It's pregnant when he's making that statement. So that if
there's a tnai koydem lemaisa. I mean, what is it called? Tnai koydem. He first said that it's a shlamim. He can't. Once he says it's a shlamim,
so it's a
done deal.
This is following the view. This is following
that a vlad is separate.
Yeah, we have to say that the vlad is separate. Well, you have to say that. It's following the view that you're looking at two entities. We're following Rabbi Yochanan and all of that. That it's really two entities, the offspring and the mother. It's really
It's not Yerech
But it's still in utero.
It's still in utero. I can still make one carbon this and one. I can make one this carbon and one that carbon. I could do that. The only problem is, in order to do that, I should have done the vlad first, not to confuse. Because once I say it is referring to the mother, then that's possible. I'm referring to the whole animal. So for clarification purposes, it would have been better to say the child first. Here he didn't do that. He did the mother first. But we know his intention. If he says his intention.
So Rabbi Yochanan says that the vlad is totally separate.
Yeah, that's what we're learning. Now the problem is that Teich Kedei Dibur is supposed to work. You can always change your mind Teich Kedei Dibur. Even the chalais of everything takes a few seconds.
Pick your hand off the chess piece.
Yeah.
Just they hold their finger there. So, I don't understand what Tosfos wants to do, but it appears to me that Tosfos is making two types of Teich Kedei Diburs. There's one Shalom Rav LeTalmid, and one is Shalom Talmud LeRav. I'm not sure exactly, or maybe there's a special din by Kodshim that Teich Kedei Dibur doesn't work by Kodshim. I'm not sure. There's got to be some.
What is it adding to knowledge? This phrase here.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't add anything to our knowledge.
What, the Teich Kedei Dibur?
Yeah, because it's applicable to everything.
Yeah. Well, no. This is something important because
It's teaching us against it. Kamash Malan.
We were saying, obviously he can't change his mind, which is true. You can't change your mind. That is obvious. So, no, we have a big chiddush that you can't even change your mind Teich Kedei Dibur. Now that's a problem. In general halacha, you can always change your mind Teich Kedei Dibur. And there are exceptions, but usually Teich Kedei Dibur allows that. Good morning, Jeff. We're holding at the Mishnah now. The Mishnah on the bottom of Chaf Hey. We just did the small piece before. Mishnah says, Harizu Temurah Sayla, Temurah Shlamim. Makes two statements. He has two animals there. And he takes another animal, two sacrifices. And he says about the mundane animal, he says that this mundane animal, regular animal, is in exchange for an Eily. And then he adds on and he says it's in exchange for a shlamim. Now, we know already Reb Meir's opinion. Reb Meir holds Teifus Lashon Rishon. That's what you said, you're done. We got it. You can't afterwards say something else. So the Mishnah says, Harizu Temurah Sayla. It's an Eily. That's what you said first, that's what it is. To Reb Meir. Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says, Im lakach neskaven tchila. If that's what he intended the whole time, what did he intend? He meant to make half of it an Eily and half of it a shlamim, a Temurah. He meant to say both, that it's a Temurah of an Eily and a shlamim. Rabbi Yossi says, if that was his intention, then Dvar of Kayamin. Now, that's going to be a problem with the way we sacrifice it, of course, but that's what his intention was. That's the sanctity that goes in it. But if he was trying to change his mind, then Harizu Temurah Sayla. Like we learned before, Rabbi Yossi doesn't accept that, the changing your mind part. Did I make a bracha? I don't remember.
I didn't hear.
Okay, bracha.
Amen.
I'm losing it. I didn't have the coffee yet. Like we learned yesterday, Gita v'yadei barim kachas has to come simultaneous. You have to remember one. Okay, so we learned the same machlekes from Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak for Rabbi Yossi, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Don't confuse this Rabbi Yossi with the one in the Mishnah. We're on top of Chavav. Rabbi Yitzchak for Rabbi Yossi says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Hakol Maidim. Everyone agrees. If the person says that first it should become this, and then it should become that. So like Chaim was saying before, that once you say something's hektish, you lose control. You then can't then say, oh, I still have some control here. No. If you say that it first should be a Eily or first should be a Shlam, that's what it is, whatever it is. Divra kol Teifus Lashon Rishon. we have to accept the first statement. Let's say he does it different. Everyone's going to agree to the second possibility. These are two extreme cases. Loi tachal zu ela im kein chalsa zu. It should not be an Eila unless it's a shlamim. So you're making it like conditional. So then tavayu kachi, or maybe there's a different girsa here. Tavayu kachi is good. Both of them become. This animal gets both kedushas.
How is that logistically possible?
Oh, so we'll see what you have to do. You have to sell it and use the money for this, for that. It gets complicated. The machlekes is only in a case like our Mishnah. Damar Temurah Eily Temurah shlamim. He says this is an exchange for an Eila, and he says this is an exchange for a shlamim. So what's he trying to do there? Reb Meir holds midahav leila meimar Temurah Eily v'shlamim. If he wanted to say that this one animal should be in exchange for both of those animals, and that means that this animal is going to have half a kedusha of an Eila, half a kedusha of shlamim, then he should have left out the word Temurah, and he should have said this is an exchange for Temurah's Eila v'shlamim. He should have used that consecutive vav, the additional, to add on the vav that means and, to add that on. However, but he didn't say that. He said Temurah's Eila, Temurah shlamim. If he says this is a Temurah of an Eila, and then he says this is a Temurah of a shlamim, it's like he's saying first it should be an Eila, then it should be a shlamim, and that you don't have control over after it's an Eila.
Does he get malchus twice?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Does it need to be chal? I'm sure if it's not chal, you don't get malchus, right? If someone says
But
a
what
Temurah,
is the sachel on both? Tavayu kachi.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Just give him one, man. Give the guy a break. No? Come on. So, wouldn't you say only one?
One is too much.
The whole thing of Temurah doesn't make sense. Why is the guy doing it? Why you?
Concerns the college teaching. He wanted to do more than he had to do. He thought it would be better.
Let's see. Rabbi Yaisi holds. What's the aleph? Kasava.
The guy's
Okay.
already bringing korban to the
Amina Temurah Eila v'shlamim. If he would have said Temurah Eila v'shlamim and he would have left out the Temurah, he would have just said this is an exchange for an Eila and the shlamim. Use the and in the middle. Sahava Amina kedusha ve'ina kreva. I would have thought that I didn't pronounce it strong enough. I would have thought that exactly what he would have thought. You can't really bring this anyway. You have to exchange it. But he would have thought that he didn't make it strong enough because he didn't say the word Temurah on each pronouncement. He wants it to be both. So Kamash Malan. So interesting Kamash Malan.
Isn't the Temurah? Doesn't he have to have an initial animal for which to do the Temurah?
Yeah, and he has that.
And what kind of
Both.
animal?
They're both there. An Eila and a shlamim.
Oh, he has two animals to start, and then he takes
has
a
one.
third, and he says this is half and half seeds for both.
Right.
half and half or whole and whole?
Well, that's the question. If he meant half and half, then that would work, and you would have to sell it and get a mum, sell it, and then use the money.
Does
half
the
for
Gemara
this and
ever
half
say
for that.
it ever happened that somebody did a Torah? I like a Ben Sarah Murray. There's a
I was just going to say, it happened to a Ben Sarah Mora.
It never. No, there's a machlokes in the Gemara.
Whether he existed. That's why I'm saying.
No, if it ever existed.
Yeah, so I'm joking. I'm saying it happened to a Ben Sarah Mora.
Like, does it say if somebody ever did it for him?
I don't know if we had any stories of Temurah. I don't know. Oh wow, very nice, very nice.
Was it peach? Was this a light colored apple?
Georgia peach.
When's it Georgia?
Well,
Okay,
I
so-
view this as just a story about somebody who either used confusing language or just changed his mind.
Right.
Something that's
Right,
out of-
right, and that's the
That
question.
happens in life.
Right,
but-
right. No,
but
this
the
is
ruling, this was huge.
it's
Huge.
common
The
in
whole-
contracts
the
or
whole
whatever.
ruling is on this Gemara.
What do they say? If you're not sure if you
Ooh.
should put in a comma, do you put it in just in case, or do you leave it out? What's the like over here?
You put it in lightly.
If it's a question, should you put in a comma or should you?
He
Do
already,
they say
he
in
already
doubt
earned
put
the
it in, or
motion.
in doubt leave it out?
My office?
He already
my
earned it.
office hates commas. I love
yeah?
commas, my office hates them.
He already
So
earned
my
the
focus.
motion.
Okay, so Rabbi Yossi is saying that the person doesn't mean that he's changing his mind. Rabbi Yossi's opinion is, if he says Temurah Seil, Temurah Shlamim, that he's specifically saying it in this way that's a little bit vague, that's confusing to us, is because he wants to be more emphasizing to himself. He thinks that this is more emphasizing that it's being real kedusha. Temurah Seil, Temurah Shlamim. He wants to put that in, even though to us it would have been clearer if he would have said Temurah Seil Vishlamim. That would have been clear. To him, he wants to get that emphasis of that it's a real kedusha. So he's adding in Temurah again in between. So what's the Kamash Malan? Kamash Malan, that he's not changing his mind, but he's really saying that it's all one kedusha. Okay, the next piece, it says Taner Rabbanan, but I think it's actually supposed to say Vahatanya. Yeah, it's supposed to say Vahatanya. And this Vahatanya is actually a proof. It's not sometimes Vahatanya
Oh,
is saying, but we learned in a Brisa. Here we're saying, no, as we learned in a Brisa.
maybe the reason he says Turas Ushlamim as opposed to without a vav is because we might have thought that he meant the Torah of the Ola is a Shlamim, and we know you can't do
Do
a
a Temurah
Temurah
on
on
a
a Temurah. So to make sure it would be clear, he put the
He
vav in.
won.
Without a jacket. I don't have a jacket.
It's summertime.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Sounds good.
It wouldn't work. That's why this.
No, but I don't know if it's even the Havamina.
Give him a right.
Okay,
No.
he definitely deserved the award.
He's the only
Okay,
Ah,
but-
even the rabbi
He's
said
the
it.
only one.
The Hatanya. And it was taught in a Brisa. Ha'imar behema zu chetzia Temurah Seila v'chetzia Temurah Shlamim. If someone actually says, here we're spelling it out in a Brisa. If someone says this animal, half of it is a Temurah B'Naila and half of it is a Temurah B'Shlamim. Now, if you remember, Dr. Stein, you mentioned this, that if someone says that the Ragla Shalzu is an Ayla, there was an opinion that held that the whole animal becomes an Ayla. There was another opinion that held, I think Rabbi held that that's only if you said it about something that the life was dependent on, not just if you just said Ragla Shalzu. It needs to be something like the head or the heart. And now, Chetzia, if he says half, the life is dependent on half. So automatically, the Kedusha should spread
Depends
through the
which-
so
depends
which
which
half, but we don't view it like that. We view it, half is we view it the long way. So that's okay. So Reb Meir holds, according to the way what he always says, is Kula Tikra Vaila. You said first, Oila, even though you only said half, but the Kedusha spreads through the whole animal. Div Reb Meir. The Chachamim say no. The Chachamim we're going to see is the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. The Chachamim say, Tirad should to starve. You have to wait till it gets a moment. V'timacha, you sell it. V'yavi b'demei chetzia Temurah Seila, b'demei chetzia Temurah Shlamim. With half of its value, you bring a Temurah Seila, and half of its value, you bring a Temurah Shlamim, like he said. Amar Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says, Im lekach neskaven mitchila. If that was his original intention, so hayol v'yafshel ha'itzi shnei shnei maskachas dvarav kayamin. Because he can't say two things at the same time, so he had to say chetzia Temurah Seila, chetzia Temurah Shlamim. He couldn't pronounce both of those simultaneously. So it works. Now the Gemara asks immediately, Rabbi Yossi hainu Rabbanan. Rabbi Yossi is exactly the Rabbanan. Why do we say the Chachamim say this, Rabbi Yossi say that? It sounds like it's a machlokes. The Gemara explains, Kula Rabbi Yosi K'tanila. No, it's all Rabbi Yosi that's teaching this. Rabbi Yosi is explaining, elaborating on the opinion of the Chachamim, but that's his opinion. Okay, Tanya Idach. There's another brisa. Behema chetzi ele v'chetzi chatas. An animal that's half an oila and half a chatas. The problem over here is that he's not mechuyev a chatas. This person didn't need to bring a chatas, and if it's a chatas that he doesn't need to bring, it's going to be put to death. So the fact that he said first that it's an oila is beneficial, according to Reb Meir. Reb Meir holds tikra oila divrei Reb Meir. Even though he said half of it is an oila, but Reb Meir holds that what you say first is the main thing. Reb Meir also holds that if the life is dependent on it, which it is, because half the body of half the animal, life is dependent on that half, so it spreads throughout the whole animal. So the whole animal becomes an oila. Rabbi Yosi Yomer Tamas. Rabbi Yosi says it has to be put to death, and that's Rabbi Yosi's opinion. You know, the children, when they start learning Gemara, so they learn Eily Metzias. So Eily Metzias is a very hard parak, but they learn it simple. And there's one piece at the beginning. It's called Yish Midas, but it has like a bunch of different proofs. And it's Machlekes Rabbi and Rava, a bunch of different proofs. So it goes through that. After the year, the children don't remember anything. They just remember Yesh Midas because it kept going over.
Mm-hmm.
That's repetition.
I think that's why they start the whole.
It could be, but the whole concept of Yesh Midas is a hard concept, where he gave up, but he doesn't know that he gave up yet because he didn't know that he lost it. So here, Reb Meir and Rabbi Yosi, it's already like our fifth time that we're repeating their opinions. That's that we'll remember. So again, the shovin.
I have a story. 1 minute. Went to the beach when my son was like 13 years old, almost 30 years ago. We're swimming in the ocean, and he wanted to wear snorkel and find treasure. All of a sudden, he comes out of the ocean with a $20 bill, and he says to me, "Can I keep this?" Right around his bar mitzvah time. I said, "Can I keep this $20 bill?" I said, "Where'd you find it?" He says, "In the ocean." I said, "Guarantee you, whoever lost the $20 bill was miyayishit. All right, is not expecting to get it back. It's yours. All right." So then later on, we're leaving. He wants to. I think my family they want to go get ice cream or this and that. So I said, "No problem." I reach in my pocket to get the 20 that I had, and I realized it's missing. And I said, "That was the $20 bill that he meant." But had I lost it, and I would have been miyayishit. So it's a real life issue on me.
Wow.
Good job.
45 seconds.
I tell you, it's great.
He has
15
that.
seconds to laugh.
He has that because he uses that to bill.
That was a different time.
Yeah, no, that billing time it rounds off to
yeah.
the nearest 15 minutes.
15
Okay,
3 hours.
5
The
minutes,
shoving.
that's 15.
No, that's
Okay,
like
so we have a
the next 3
machlekes,
hours.
Reb Meir and Rabbi Yosi.
1 minute, that's 15.
Where Rabbi Yosi says half and half.
Just kidding.
Holiness spread.
It becomes also a chatas, and then that's the problem because a chatas that is not necessary has to be put to death. And now the shovin, but they'll both agree by merchetzi chatas v'chetzi oila shetamas. If he starts off saying half of it is a chatas, then there's no hope because even if you take Reb Meir, it's a problem. Gemara says shovin. Mani. What are they trying to bring out from the shovin? Reb Meir Pshita. According to Reb Meir, that's obvious. Mao the Tema, the Gemara explains. No, I could have thought like this. Ilav dashminan. Hava mina. If it didn't tell it to me, I could have thought. Taima de Reb Meir, la mishum tafas lashon rishon. Ela hainu taima chatas mureves. Kreva. I could have thought that Reb Meir has a different opinion. If I would have only known this one brisa of Reb Meir. It says like this. The person said half is a oila and half is a chatas. Reb Meir says you can bring it
As what?
as an oila. But I could have thought that what Reb Meir means, not tafas lashon rishon, that it's entirely an oila. Could have thought that a little bit chatas is okay, and you could still offer it up. That's what I could have thought. So
That's
therefore, it tells it to me the other way, that if he says half of it is a chatas, and half of it is an Eila, that over there Reb Meir says that you can't bring it, that tells me, when you tell me the reverse, that tells me that Reb Meir holds Taifas Lashon Rishon, that we're only accepting the first statement that he's making, and it's not because I don't mind if there's a chatas ingredient in here. Ba'afilu, ki amar chetzi chatas, v'hadar, and I could have thought that if he says chetzi chatas v'hadar chetzi ela kreva, I could also bring that. Kamash Malan Delay comes to tell us that no, Taifas Lashon Rishon. Tanya Idach, start in a brisa, another brisa. Amar, if he says behimazu chetzi ela v'chetzi shlamim, this animal is half an oila and half a shlamim. So it says kedusha veina kreva. It's holy, but it can't be brought. You'd have to sell it and use the money. However, interestingly, oisa Temurah. If I have this animal that's half chatas, half oila and half shlamim, not a chatas, half oila and half shlamim, and I go over to another animal, and I say that this should be in a Temurah for this animal, for the first one, so it becomes Temurah. And what happens to it? Temurah sekiyetzibai. It has the same status.
You can't make a Temurah from a Temurah.
It's not a Temurah. Here it was behimazu chetzi oila v'chetzi shlamim.
Oh, the initial
Yeah.
one. Huh.
So, in the Temurah it's like it. So the Gemara says, Mani Rabbi Yosi. This must be the opinion of Rabbi Yosi. And Pshita, the Kedusha Veina Kreva. It's obvious that Rabbi Yosi holds that you have to take both statements of the person and apply them. And obviously it can't be offered, because either it's an Eila or Shlamim, you can't offer it. The Gemara says, no, the second statement is the Chiddush. Temurah it's Jichlei. It's necessary to tell us that it does Temurah. Well, actually, not that it does Temurah. That the Temurah has the same status. I could have thought like this. And the original Karban is like Karva. However, Temurah Tikrav. But I could have brought the Temurah. Why? Sometimes the Temurah could be Chal on a Mum. Maybe I could extend Temurah over onto this, and it will get more kedusha than the first Karban. Could have thought that Kamash Malon comes to tell us that no, and there's a long Kamash Malon here. Maishna hi delay karva. What's the difference than original karban that you can't bring? The Havila Kedusha Dechuya, because it was a rejected karban, because it has two statuses. Tumarasanami Mikach Kedusha Dechuya Kaasya. The exchange also comes from a Kedusha Dechuya, and it can't get any more sanctity than the original one, and the original one was rejected. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, "Behema shel shnei shutvim." If I have an animal that belongs to two partners, that means each partner only owns half. Now we've been saying that a person can make half an animal this karban, the other half that karban. Over here, it's going to be different because he only owns half. You can't be makdish something that's not yours. You can't walk down the street and be makdish all the people's things, and that doesn't work like that. So he says hikdish chetzi shalai. He was makdish his side of the karban of the animal. But then he buys his partner's portion. Buys his partner's shares in this. V'hikdisha, and then he's makdish that part. So it says kedusha veina kreva. It can't be brought. Temurah, but it does do Temurah. Temurasa ki yoitziba, and the Temurah is the same like it, which also can't be brought. So the Gemara now says Shema mina tlas. We learned from Rabbi Yochanan 3 halachas. Just from this one statement, we learned 3 halachas. That's not so much. There's the Gemara Psachim. Remember Shema mina tamnaya. Says we learned from a statement 8 halachas from one statement. Okay, so 3 halachas. they're similar, the halachas. We'll
Wait,
see.
what was the statement?
Look at it.
No,
No,
he's
the
talking
one
about the
from
one
the-
in Psachim,
Psachim.
with 8. It had to do with Kiddush from Makom Suda. It had to do with if you make the bracha, if you go somewhere else, you make the bracha again.
You gotta look where you're making kish.
Right.
All those.
It's like when spelled ta'ut. You could make 5 errors.
Into
Yeah.
the same Noach mit Zibin Greisen. Okay, so Shema Mina, the first one is Kedushas Damim Nidche. You see, this animal was never eligible to be brought because he was only consecrated half of it. And nevertheless, by the time he's able to consecrate the whole thing, it's considered rejected from the temple. It's considered rejected. So we're learning here is Kedushas Damim. We're considering it Kedushas Damim because it only has its value is consecrated, and nevertheless that's considered rejected from the altar. It never had an attempt, it never had the ability to go on the altar, and it's still rejected already. Shema Mina, Bali Chayim Nidachim. It says Mu'min, they change that for Bali Chayim. We also learned that something that's alive could get rejected, and that's a machlekes in Yuma. It's a whole machlekes over there. We've been learning that if one of those, the two animals, the 2 goats dies, so we bring another pair, and there's a discussion over there if the original one should get rejected because its peer died. So that's a machlekes. But over here we learn from Rabbi Yochanan that yes, the peer does get rejected. That a live animal could get rejected. We also learn that